be a bit cancer. But nevertheless, we have to get on with what we came here for, which is a battle of the third seed in D2, which is Avail taking on Untouchables right here on Mario Kart boards today. So I have Klein joining me in the moment here, but for now, it's just me alone, probably the first half of the race. But this is, of course, like I mentioned earlier, an all-important match between two teams that are going for the third seed in the division. And I haven't introduced myself yet. I am Vale here. And, well, I will be casting this match alongside with Klein. I keep repeating myself. That's not a good thing. So, well, let's get this match underway. We are on Rainbow Road. This is one of Avail's favorite tracks. We've seen them, of course, pick this quite often. They are starting in good spots, so what they want to do, of course, is to get a break right off the bat with Mark and Ballin in top 2. Now, of course, we didn't start the stream off properly, so I want to introduce the two lineups for Avail is Ballin, Mark, Solo, Olafray, and Sal, who is bagging this war. And, of course, for Untouchables, it is Sane, Ronak, Ken, Neo, and Sammy bagging. This is going to be a very close and interesting match, and I think Klein has joined me here at the commentary.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay? Am I
yes, you're perfectly fine, sir.
Good. I hope I'm speaking through my proper mic. Anyway, Ballin appears to be having some issues here. Straight off the bat.
I was looking at the Wiimmfi page to introduce the teams, and apparently Ballin has fell from 1st to 8th. Maybe 10 seconds of me looking at the Wiimmfi page. So this is, of course, sitting at the box track. So if Avail does have bad spots, which we can't really see because I don't think Ballin uses Battle Glitch, so that's a bit of a pain for us as casters to inform you on which spots the respective teams are. But right now we can see the bagging battle. It is Sal with Daisy. Usually does use Daisy. I will confirm that if we see them again, but yeah, that's the case for the most part, and of course Sammy is the funky, so we can see that both baggers are just sitting at the boxes. No obligation to go for shock just yet from either team. Of course, if we'll see who's going for shock first means who has the worst spots, but right now we see Ballin in 7th, in 6th, no, that's just someone lagging off the map. So individually, Ballin is not in a good position right now because this track, of course, is a track that you want to front run right off the bat and hopefully not fall behind because it's a very hard track to catch up on.
Yeah, Ballin's not doing so great with the items now. We've seen him pull a blooper in 6th and now, a blooper in 7th and now a TC in 7th. Hopefully he's going to be able to pull a Mega or something in 6th. Otherwise he's going to be getting a very bad spot this race. Yeah, we see him go down there in 6th. So I think Ballin's going to have a hard time getting anything above 6th at the moment. And we do see another AV member, that is Olafray, back here in 7th place. So it looks like AV aren't getting that many of the good spots at the moment. We can see now on the minimap that Sal is going forwards. So that means that AV are perhaps attempting to go for a last-minute shock in 9th, hopefully to get some dodges back here in the bottom spots, but I don't think they've pulled it. And AV are going to be getting bottom 2 of the runners. So that's a very good start for UT. We'll have to wait until the results come up to see what they actually got. But on the face of it, it doesn't look so good for Avail right now. Oh man, I haven't casted in so long. This is good. It's good to be back.
This is unnatural for me as well because I have not casted in a while, but hopefully we can regain touch by the end of the first GP, or probably sooner than that. And of course, we'd like to update all of viewers as of course before this match started. I believe. Oh, okay. I don't even know what I'm talking about here because I don't have any stats with me. Right. So as it stands before this match, Avail is going into this match a point ahead of UT, who is in 5th with 14. Avail in 3rd with 15. But this is basically a win or go home situation in which Avail has lost the first race by 15, thanks to our handy scoreline updater, Stunky right here. So shout out to him, who is stream casting while playing a match at the same time. So he is doing double duty, my friend. Now, of course, in this Division 2, Battle Alliance and Coastline have safely secured their top 2 seeds in the division, Battle Alliance being first and Coastline being second. So Coastline will face the winner of this match in a free match series next week to determine who has the right to face Battle Alliance in the final week of playoffs. I believe this division has playoffs, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we're right. We're fighting for 30. Why am I even asking?
Can I just apologize? I think I might have. I think I forgot to mute my mic while I was readjusting my my microphone stand there. I muted myself on Discord, but of course we are screen sharing on Skype. So yeah, you might have heard some odd noises there. Anyway, Ballin is holding a start in 4th place right now, as a TC battle is going to result in a few people going down. We're going to have to see what he's going to be able to do with this start. Perhaps he's going to be able to dodge up later in the lap. Gets a cool looking low trick. That was quite nice.
And of course, personally, I'm a bit bugged by the fact there is no battle glitch on Volan's gameplay, because I can't really tell what spots, and I can't really analyze the gameplay. But I think Mark was trying to pass ball into TC, which did not work out, and I think he okay.
Yeah.
So Volan obviously uses star quite early. I believe. I don't know who's winning the bagging battle. I don't see the Funky Kong. Sammy might be a lot further back than Sal is, but all I can see is the Daisy.
Bullen's pulling up triple reds here. I think he's going to be able to try and do some slagging damage. And another TC there for Bullen. That's very unlucky. And his teammates are all around, so I don't think he's going to be able to pass this. And it looks like Bullen's going to be going down once again to a Thundercloud, just waiting behind the boxes there just to make sure that he can get an item. And at the moment, it looks like Untouchables have some of those sort of middle spots. If they can have the shock as well, they might be able to get some dodges going on. The pack is reasonably spread out, as we can see, and I'm assuming that's an Avail member in first. They have a nice little breakaway up there. We're going to have to wait to see if we can, if we're going to get a target shot going on. That is very common on this track. Bullen's pulling another set of triple reds in 7th. That's not exactly what he wants. He's going to be looking for some kind of dodge item, because the shock is going to probably be coming at some point in this lap.
Now, of course, my apologies. I believe Ak has pointed out that Coastline has played one match less than current first seed Battle Alliance. So if Coastline wins against Gun, we're looking at Gun here. Yes, Gun.
Sure.
That's probably a free win, isn't it? Or I can't tell Gun's reliability. I'm sorry, but it most likely the case. If anything, it's a free win. Then Coastline will be the first seed. Then the winner of this match will go on to play Battle Alliance.
And we did see Bullen goldened up there at the end, managed to pull 4th place, which I guess was quite a good spot for him to get after that TC on the 2nd lap.
I believe Sammy did not bag that race, which is rather interesting, because the shock is the most important item in the game, in WL basically, because everybody bags.
Certainly, yeah.
It's definitely, well, I believe that was an Avail shock because it got Ballin into boxes, but it looks like UT did come up with a winning race, because Mark unfortunately got 8th. So that is a 25, 7, 32, 33 race for UT, which means that they are up 20 after 2 races, which is a good start for UT. They can build on this momentum going into the war. Oh, yes, Stunky. Right. So apparently Sammy did not DC rush, so I believe Sammy just did not bag that race, which is a questionable play, but it did work out for UT in the end.
Yeah, it looked like it was a sort of neutral race. I mean, those sort of races are never really more than +3 or something like that. So yeah, I guess in terms of the strategy, I guess it didn't work out too badly, but not so good that they'd want to try and do it again. RBC now, this is one of the longer tracks in the game, as you know, and that means that sometimes you can get more than one shock in the race, so I imagine we're going to see both baggers going back trying to get a shock on this one.
Now, as an expert D1 bagger myself, I can concur with that. Just kidding, I hate bagging. Right, so the stream is a bit laggy for us on our end. So well, we can see Ballin is in first place. He did manage to get the draft in fourth, and Olafray does get red, unfortunately, so they can't break away in top 2 for Olafray and Ballin. And it's in frames again. Oh no, it's not.
Well, we're trying to make the best.
We'll make the best with what we got, but right now we can see just Ballin front running it up, and hopefully he can stay in first. Of course, can throw 3 bananas, and Cell needs to be a lot more careful there as Ronak streams into first place. Now, the quadruple zeros is Ronak, Andre is Sane, and I believe Daquan is Ken. So that's the races for UT. Ronak does get blue right there, an early blue shot for AV, but of course this track is very long, so there's the possibility of a second or even a third blue shell. So Ballin does need to keep on his toes here, unless AV does pull the blue and hold it for him. Currently sitting pretty in first.
Yeah, he looks to be doing okay. As we can see, again, the pack is very much spread out. You can see those races in last are just coming up to the moving thwomps there. So yeah, there's a reasonably spaced out pack, but you know, the shock is notorious for causing unexpected changes in not very long amounts of time, so we might see some surprises up here.
I believe, from my expert minimap reading knowledge, UT has the shock because Sammy is driving for it, and Sal just got squished by a thwomp. Right, so this might be jeopardy for Ballin's first, but he did backspam Ken in the first bridge inside the castle, lap 2, so he does have a little bit of a 2-second breakaway, and hopefully he can keep that up. Now, if I was Sal right now, I would probably drive in front of Ballin and drop a star for him. But that, of course, is up to him if he believes he can get a second shock, of course. But Sammy is just sitting there, so when is UT going to shock? Probably at the hallway set. If not, it's going to be at the grass set. There is no way they're going to hold it for more than past the grass set, or else it probably would be too late of a shock for them to make any difference. And if they want to do anything to Ballin's first place, they need to shock quickly.
Yeah, I'd say there's certainly no point in target shocking Ballin. He's certainly too far ahead by now. I mean, that's a good 3 or 4 second breakaway. So, yeah, UT aren't going to be doing anything to try and take Ballin out first. He's getting powered on the cup there, and he did well to, kept his composure there. It was good. The shot does come in.
Try that at home.
Yeah, we do see a shot come in, and it looks like the person in second got screwed. That could have been a blue shell. I mean, it could have been AV holding the blue for Ballin, and as soon as he finished, they threw it and hit second. I'm not sure what that shock really did. I don't think anyone really dodged, but they certainly got some of their middle spots into boxes, and it looked like it caused some trouble for those second and third spots.
Apologies for pronouncing Daquan as Daquan, but I'm just going to call him Ken from now on. Pretty sure that's easier on my sanity as well. But AV does come up with I think UT came up with the winning race. Oh, Stunky scrolled to his Discord. I cannot read the scores of the race.
I mean, that's pretty much what we would have expected. I mean, Ballin got first, as we saw, and then UT, it looks like, used the shock and secured most of those middle spots. So another sort of neutral race. I imagine the scores, Toadbot's going to let us know, but I imagine the scores are reasonably level at the moment. Just have a look at the reliable Toadbot. Oh, it's minus 19. Oh yeah, of course, because of the first race there. But yeah, that was a +1 race for Avail.
Now, elsewhere in the league right now, well, one of the more prominent things I would be paying attention to is my team Vitality is facing Debilitate right now in a match for the 3rd seed in Division 1 as well. So that is also another match that people will probably stay tuned to. I don't know who is streaming that war. I believe it's Rob. Yes, it is Rob. So that is another match, of course, to pay attention to. But we're going to focus on the D2 match because that is the match that we were told to cast. Well, then again, of course, we don't always have to cast D1. We have to give some opportunity to the other divisions as well.
Of course.
So BC3 coming out here. This track is just tragic in the Clown Fiesta. So God knows who's gonna win this race, but Solo does draft into first, and they do have a top 2 sort of lead right here for Avail. if I was balling, I would probably save that fib to block the cut.
Yeah,
But
I
Solo
was about to
does.
say.
And no, UT unblocked it. So let's see who is taking it right here. But no one makes it so far. So AV does keep their top 2. Ideally, they want to break away as much as possible because, as everybody knows, this track is the track with the most amount of boxes, which means the number of blue shells is paramount.
Yeah, I just want to touch on what you were saying. Oh, speak of the devil, there's a blue shell there to take Solar out of first place.
Part 1 of the blue shell comments.
Yeah, it's interesting what you were saying about that fib early on. Yeah, he chose to backspam that quite early, which is always a bit dodgy when the pack's close. There's a lot of bumps going on. I think it probably would have been better to just save that for the shortcut so that they could get it double blocked and make sure that Untouchables had no chance of taking it. But, you know.
Again, a questionable play by Ballin. I'm not the best player in the community. I'm not going to question a lot of plays,
Yeah,
but
of course.
if I would use a fib to block the cut because a banana can be dodgy, and of course, if it half blocks the cut, it does risk your chance of, and it's easier to unblock as well. So like that's just,
yeah.
A fib is always better, and of course, double blocking the cut with a fib. And speaking of blue shell, that's comedy number 2. Now, of course, blocking the cut with 2 fibs is the most ideal way of blocking the cut. Yeah. Unless, of course, you take it with a star. But AV does have good spots after 2 blue shells. They are 1-3-4, and we see the pack is still pretty close. I have no idea who has shock. Sal is just sitting in a corner, which they probably do, I guess. So that's good for Ballin to have a Mega in 4th. So they might get top 3 here if Solo... Oh, nope. That's using the Mega right there. So is that a shock prediction? I believe so. Now, if I was Ballin, I would use the POW to try to target POW Sane on this jump here, but he apparently is dropped to 4th place. So don't. Whoa, that might be bad on your teammate.
Bit dodgy there, yeah.
Now that is not a good communicated POW from AV, but that's a UT shot. And Sane does get the star as well, but I don't think he's able to troll Ballin. So just get second, Sane. Stop trolling. And I believe that's a top 2 for UT because Mark got taken out by something. Hopefully it wasn't the POW.
Yeah, I think Avail probably got most of the spots behind that, so I don't think that's a terrible race for Avail. About what you were saying with blocking the cut when you have 2 fibs on it and being able to take it with a star. I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but I certainly have like an alignment that I take. Like I look for certain positions on the ground and on the wall, obviously, because taking something out of TWD98's old tutorials. But I mean, not just because the fibs there obviously cause a physical obstruction because you can't get through them, obviously, unless you have a star. But I mean, just as a sort of graphical obstruction, not being able to see where your alignment is, I guess that could probably be an issue as well. And that's not something that you really have with bananas. So yeah, I mean, blocking the cut, I would suggest always using a fib just for a variety of reasons. Just seeing the replay there of what happened with that's Sane there getting the star, because that was Sal's star that was dropped after the shock, and I guess that was probably maybe a slight miscommunication that Sane had dodged up. If they were looking to get dodges in those middle spots, they might not have wanted to drop a star there, but I guess it worked out okay. I didn't quite see what spots they actually ended up getting. What have we got? I think Toadbot will let us know again. Yes, that was a -5 for Avail. So the GP score at the end of that GP is 110 points to Avail and 134 to Untouchables. So that's a 24-point deficit, which is a nice little cushion to be going into GP2 with, but certainly not too much to change.
Very close match, but of course I believe AV does need to just play a little better, because I think they're making a couple of avoidable mistakes in terms of just the small specific details that can impact a match that has this much of stakes. So they need to probably patch up a bit of teamwork and a bit of gameplay individually, but I believe they will do something about it. They are a good team, and that is why they were the higher seeded team going into this match. But of course, this match is the BN and be all of everything that's going to happen in Division 2 this season in terms of who's getting the 3rd seed. Now, Maple Treeway here, again, another signature Avail track from my experience of playing them. They do have top 2, which is good, and I believe Neo would opt to probably stay in first or jump into the cut to try and get a good item. But of course, one of UT or 2 should stay up there with Avail, because this track is a largely front-running track despite the cannon. So, and of course, being said, of course, as a cannon, shock is paramount on this track. And of course, Sal would be hoping to get it and dodge a couple of top AV spots going into lap 2. But we can see Sane is already in first. He probably pulled a golden in a mid spot, 5th or 6th probably, or just held it up from a lower spot, obviously. But he is in first, and of course wants to preserve that lead. Now, the earliest people can get shock hit is around 45 seconds because of all the major respawns and wall hits that you must go back through to get to one item set, which, of course, as lap 3 comes, the position will glitch, so both baggers will be in 10th, which means the shock is literally a coin toss.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is probably one of the more technical bagging tracks, just because it's so kind of complex as a concept that it can, the positions can often get messed up. Do you want to tell us a little bit, as a D1 bagger, how it sort of works with getting the shock on this track?
Well, okay. First of all, I
don't mean to put you on the spot there.
No. You just have to not suck at jumping off.
Okay.
This first part here where Ballin's coming up to, the respawning from that ramp up to the small bridges, it's not difficult, but that's where usually people screw up. And going back on the U-turn, if you jump off the side and respawn at the wiggler section, you're gonna miss a checkpoint, and that basically means you're gonna get respawned at the front of the wiggler section where you jump off at the cannon set right here coming out where Ballin is. So that's definitely something that people don't pay attention to, and I've had my fair share of experiences where I've lost bagging battles because of doing that. Still, the shock is probably deadlock right now, or not. Their baggers are driving forwards, so it looks like AV is in a mega. Olafray probably predicting a TS on his teammate in second. But Avail does have good 2, 3, 4 spots right now. I believe UT has been holding the blue this whole race because Sane has just been driving in first. So that is a good race for AV, a winning race to say the least. We'll get them back on a winning track. They do need to catch up by 24 though.
Yeah, that certainly looked like a strong race for Avail. They had everything there behind Sane in first. I'm not sure who is it we're missing. We had Mark, Olafray, and Ballin in that 2-3-4 there. Who are we missing out of the lineup there? Can't think off the top of my head. Oh yeah, it was Solo. Okay, so hang on a minute. What happened to Olafray?
Oh, I believe the PAL might have taken Olafray for a spin.
Ooh. Okay, so that looks like that's a winning race for UT, and they will extend their lead.
It will extend their lead to 31 points, which is not insurmountable, but is definitely a large margin considering the races are decided by very little at the moment. And, well, it takes one race to get back. One huge top 3-7 to get back in with a 31-point deficit going into GP3. But, of course, this is GP2. AV does have 7 races to catch up, but, of course, they should start putting some good races together before they just run out of races to catch up on. And of course, we can see that UT is opting to pick Toad's Factory. They're going for the 1-4 draft, which is possible unless I'm the guy in first or the guy in fourth, because I lag like hell.
We are being told everybody. In the. I mean, I would make jokes, but to be honest, I do the same. We are being told in the chat that Olafray hit the fib that was in the tree. So yeah, I mean, I presume that just completely took him out. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm remembering clearly, but it looked like the pack was reasonably spread out, but apparently that just completely killed his race. We're seeing a top 2 emerging from Untouchables, so hopefully they'll be able to put some back spams out in the cave, and Baldwin gets a nice little snipe there on... oh, I didn't quite catch who that was. I think that might have been Ken. But yeah, that was quite an aesthetic little snipe there. Unfortunately, Ronak there lagged straight through it, so... didn't manage to get the 2-piece. as we do see a lot of people taking the gap jump there. And it looks like, I believe, UT have a top 2 again, with Mark and Ballin in 3-4. There's a blue shot coming in now, so we'll see who is in first, but I believe this will be a UT member. Oh no, I stand corrected, it was Solo. So, yeah, a 1-3-4 from Avail has just been put down to, by the looks of it, a 2-3. Not quite sure where Solo is at the moment, but having got blued, it looks like he's further back in the pack. Ballin makes a nice little dodge there of a green shell, and I believe someone's just taken the gap jump. But unfortunately, as we don't have Battle Glitch, we can't quite see who it is. Okay, so Ballin's thrown a blue shell, so it looked like it was UT in first. Mark gets back spammed, so the blue shell's been cancelled, okay, and this is probably UT dodging... Oh, no. This race is full of surprises, and Olifrey is in fact the one dodging up. Perhaps that was a prediction there. And Ballin pulls a Mega, and someone behind him also pulls a Mega, so yeah, he's chosen to spam that straight after the shock. Perhaps could have held that for the shortcut, but he chose not to. And UT have a top 2, and it doesn't look like Ballin's going to be able to do anything about that. And someone has taken the gap jump, but we're not too sure who. And Ronak is back here in 5th, so probabilities would say that that was probably an Avail member who took the shortcut, but if not, that's going to be a very strong race for Untouchables. Otherwise, it's still going to be a good race for UT. But yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. I would like to know whose shock that was, to be honest, because I believe the blue, which Ballin threw, presumably would have gone for a UT member, but Olifrey was the one who actually dodged. So yeah, I don't know if that was a prediction or if they just chose to use the shock then. And it turns out it was Mark who took the gap, so a 1-4 for Avail, and another close race. We've been having a lot of these sort of races which have a sort of 5-7 point deficit, so apart from the first race, it's been reasonably close. Untouchables now have a lead of, I believe that's 30, so that was a +1 race for Avail there, so Untouchables now have a lead of 30 points, which, as Vail mentioned before, that is not at all, well, I mean, it is significant, but one good race can change all of that. I'm not sure if Vail is still here. We might have lost him. Either that or I'm sitting here talking to myself as my Skype has died.
Hello? Can the stream hear
Hello?
me?
Vail, are you with us?
Can the stream hear me?
I think we can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, I've been talking that race kinda a bit, well, it's just a few words, but I literally I was just pointing out not to do what Ballin did and that snipe himself on the last mushroom, which kind of gave Avail kind of a bit of a predicament. He does successfully pass the TC here. Now this, of course, is another rather, well, it's a skilled bagging track to say the least in one location where you just have to use your shroom properly and not be an idiot.
Can that be done with one shroom? I normally
one
just
shroom,
try
yeah,
and get
one
golden.
shroom.
Nice, okay. Yeah, I normally just try and get golden and just spam it.
Oh, you don't get a single shroom in 9 very often.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Oh,
and, that's
Ballin's
that's
taken a bit of
misplay.
an L there to a bill. I mean, was that a bagger who billed him there, or was that someone who got?
That was Neo.
Okay.
Of course, I believe Sammy is all the way back at the cave set. Well, Sal is just rummaging for boxes in 9th. The ideal strat to bag on this track is, of course, sit at the boxes before where you respawn from the respawn until 27 seconds, drift onto the other route and take the box in 10th at 30 seconds. But of course, many people decide to plunge into the box in 10th before 27 seconds and get goldens, which I totally hate that, by the way.
Can I ask your opinion on something in terms of the bagging strat? When you go backwards at the start and you have to get those boxes to do like the big jump to go backwards, would you want to wait to get a box in 9th, or would you just go straight at it and try and get a box in 10th?
Go get the box in 10th at 27 seconds, unless your teammate has Bill. And then you just run straight into it, and hopefully you get anything but a single shroom. Now, of course, we can see that Bolin does not have any items to take the cut. He does have a shroom right there, but unfortunately, he did jump off the cut already.
And our screen actually lagged there, so we didn't quite see how we actually avoided that red, but I imagine he probably just used the wall or something. We do see a blue shell coming out. Oh, it's the last lap. So it looks like AV are getting quite a lot of the bottom spots. Sammy was probably the one to get the shock there, because we did see him much further back, and it did look like UT got a lot of the top spots there, because I think we saw certainly Ballin and Olafray in the bottom spots there.
Now, of course, AV does not want to plunge themselves into a deeper hole than 30 points, knowing how big... Okay, well, that is a disaster for them. That is a whopping 38 points for UT that race. So they are down 45, which is not insurmountable, but definitely putting themselves in a rather... between a rock and a hard place.
I mean, we're now 7 races in, 5 races left. I mean, they have to average pulling back 9 points a race, which, as Avail said, it's not insurmountable, but that's going to be quite a challenge for Avail here.
Go big or go home. That is what Avail must be thinking right now. So just make the big plays and just go get them, man. See, we're watching Avail's perspective, so we have to be a little bit biased towards Avail because we want to see a more neutral match as well. That's good from a neutral standpoint.
We want to see the underdogs make a comeback. I mean, I say that, but looking at the table, I'm not sure if it's been updated for week 9, but it looks like Avail are actually ahead of Untouchables in the league.
Yes, I did cover that race too.
Excuse me, I'm just I'm doing my best here. You know?
Yeah, we're all rusty. It's all good. I'm trying to pull them. It's 4 a.m. in the morning. I have to kill myself sooner or later.
Wait, don't you have like parents that you're gonna wake up or anything?
I think they're used to it by now. I've been playing this game for quite some time.
Yeah, I mean, fair dues, I guess. Anyway, we're on to Peach Gardens here. Ballin was not able to get a box there at the start, so he is sitting back at 7th place. And, we do see Olafray in 6th. And for the moment, it looks like UT are holding onto the top spots, which they took into this race from the last. However, this track is a notorious dodging track, as we know very well in Team UK. And speak of the devil, Ballin actually pulls a mega. We'll have to wait to see if he chains this at the first set. Solo is back here as well, so UT probably have the majority of these top spots. If I was Ballin, I think I would probably want to chain this mega just to get into a top spot early. Yeah, he does. And you never know, he could pull a star. No, he pulls a golden. So to have a golden in 5th place, yeah, that is pretty good. Looking at the minimap, it
looks like Sal has shock already. That's good.
And it looks like someone's got a nice little breakaway in 1st. Is Ballin? Yeah, Ballin's going to use this golden now. Just looking at the mini map, that lead in 1st place, perhaps that person's taken triple shrooms.
Ballin, what are you doing?
Mate, what are you doing? Ballin decides to have a little date there with the hedge. So he's back. That's defense, mate. Watch out.
Does have some leeway to get a dodge.
Yeah. I mean, even if they shock into 1st set, we do see Mark back here. And who's this in 6th? We might just see a shock into 1st set. Neo is there waiting to try and bomb in 6th. That is quite unlucky, but we did see Neo trying to schlag with a red, which is probably wise. And yeah, we do see him again, just taking out Ballin. And I mean, I would say that Ballin is probably down and out of the count at this point, unless he can dodge up. But even then, I don't think he's going to get a particularly good spot. He does pull a star, so maybe a shock into last set for some of their upper spots. Let's have a look. Nope, it doesn't look like it. So, doesn't look like Sal even had... Oh!
No, he does. He can one person. Oh, yeah, probably
one
2.
Whole person. Oh, yeah.
Go
yeah,
get
he
him,
pulls Neo as well. Okay, so bottom 2... Oh, never mind.
No,
Neo just about pips Ballin on the line there, so... Oh yeah, that's just coming up on the Twitch stream now. Ballin crashing into a hedge. I mean, I can see what he was trying to do. I mean, he was torn between going to the box or not going for the box, and instead decided to drive straight into the wall, which I think that ended up being quite costly. I mean, Okay, so that's a 1-3-6-8-9 for UT, which is another very neutral race. I mean, from what I can tell, I think we're having mostly sort of neutral races, but UT are getting the occasional good race. We saw the top 2-4 and the first race as well. So yeah, they are up by.
Lost that race by 3, so that's not what they need.
Not at all. No, they need to be pulling back some kind of comeback now. It is now a 48-point deficit, and I believe that's double what it was after the first GP. So another solid GP for UT, and this is looking very convincing now.
Now, okay, now as part of VA, I've choked bigger leads than 48 points. So I'm gonna be the expert here and tell UT to not take their foot off the gas pedal. You know, who knows? Maybe one of the AV racers got starred by Sammy and down the road. Who knows?
Don't know about you, but I would love to see some kind of comeback here. Just, first race of this GP, just bam, top 4-9. Just bring it straight back.
That is great from a neutral perspective. I mean, I've literally no bias against both teams, so.
Oh yeah, of course not. But
I would like to see it go down to the wire. That would be a fun match to watch, and then we can get decided by penalties because there's someone with a box. Minus $20 to you. Unlucky, dude. So in case I believe Storm is lost a bit, so I'm just gonna for anyone who's joining us here, we do have a whopping 70 viewers on the stream right now, which is we do 73 actually. Well, we were hoping for more of a turnout, but this is default WL time, so I mean it's reasonable. But to say the least, this is the final GP of the battle for third seed in Division 2 between Avail and Untouchables. Avail down 48 going into the last GP, so they need to start doing work, and the team picks are not really there by Ballin. Now, I don't know how good AVR, GCN, Waluigi saying, but that's definitely not something I would want it's just weird.
Must be quite confident to get the shock on that track because there's quite a notorious target shock on there right at the end of the lap, which can be quite devastating. So I think it's certainly important to be the better bagger if you're going to pick Waluigi Stadium. But Vale, you're probably more versed on that.
I am terrible on that track. Absolutely terrible. I just got tagged in the VA chat to give Hikaru a shout out. So hello, Hikaru. I hope you're enjoying. No.
The entire stream chat is about to fill up with people asking for shout outs now. What have you done? You've opened the door. You've opened Pandora's box now. Anyway, on with the.
I hope I have not. But I hope you're enjoying the stream, Hikaru. I'm glad you're tuning in. So I'm going back to the race. So UT and
Mario Kart.
Here. I'm not sure who's in first. Where is the battle glitch? Go get him, Ballin. Bomb him. Sick him.
Go on. Oh yeah, he took something out there. Yeah, Solar is up here now, and I think it might be Mark. I've got an inkling that it's Mark in first, but I'm not too sure. We do see the baggers coming back now, and I think Sammy is further back there than Sal, so we're probably going to be seeing a UT shock, which is not ideal at all for Avail, as this is probably quite a shock-reliant track. I can tell you that from experience as the most shock-reliant player in this game.
We think we saw third place drop from UT like at the first set, so I believe they are begging for dodges, and Sal's just driving forwards. I am very unsure what's going on, but it looks like a good race for AV right now, but they could be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Possibly, yeah. I mean, if it is Avail in first, this would be a top 3, and it is. It's Olafray up there. So looking at the minimap, I mean, the pack is reasonably spread out, but on Delfino Square, that really means nothing. I mean, you can dodge sort of first or second set, take the double, and then all the spots are reversed.
This set is the defining factor. So you have the shot. 3, 2, 1, activate shot.
I mean, Avail, like their top 2 both went for the cut, so I'm tempted to say that perhaps Sal has it, perhaps in 9th, but even so, I think we're going to see a very strong race here from Avail. Bomb! Hang on a minute.
That was a
so a top 2, a top 3. Are we going to see a top 4? We could see a...
Mark, where are you at? No, that was that was South Shaw. Okay, well, that was a very questionable play by whoever UT member dropped from third place or second place start of lap 2. You really don't want them to overwhelm you with I think I'm needed it for VA. I might have to dip. Oop.
Oh, I think we got Owen around. Get him and his gorgeous little accent going on.
I believe you might have to solo cast the remaining of this GP because I need to sub in. I'm very sorry, my dude, but
that's fine, not a problem. I'll see if Owen's around. He might want to hop in. I don't know if we can get Skype configured that quickly, but anyway, I mean, I'm up for a bit of rusty solo casting. Why not? Anyway, thank you very much, Val, if you're going to dip.
Yeah.
Wait to see if we're going to lose him.
Very sorry, dude. But hey, all the best to both teams. See ya.
Not a problem. Yeah, I mean, looking at that race, we had a top 3 7-9 from Avail, so I very nearly called it. Unfortunately, Mark clearly let down the sun. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, a very strong race indeed from Avail, and the deficit has now been reduced to just 27 points, I believe. Am I doing that maths correctly? Hang on a minute, Toadbot. Yeah, 27 points. So again, the average recall point that they need to get is 9 per race. So yeah, I guess in terms of averages, they're doing okay because of that last race. We do see Ballin has a nice set of triple reds. He's going to be throwing those at Neo, who took the cut there. And I'm not too sure who it was in first. I think he was wheel to wheel with Olafray at the start of the race. And I don't think Neo is going to be able to survive these reds. I mean, Bolin's got another one in reserve. Oh, never mind. Olafray's back here. This could be a top 3 for Avail, though. I do wish we had the battle glitch. Anyway, what we can be sure of is that AV do have 2-3 at least. Neo is in fourth place, sorry. And just looking at the baggers, I can't quite see. Okay, there we go. There's Sal is further back, and he did have some shrooms to do the cut. Who was this getting blued? I didn't quite see. Anyway, AV now have top 2. Top 2 for Andre. That is Sane coming up in a star, and another blue shell coming in. I think that's going to hit an AV member. The pack right now is just too close, a bit too chaotic. Ballin pulls another set of triple shrooms, takes out Sane, and I think he's going to... takes out Ronak, and I think he's going to try and take out Sane here as well. Mark is still in first place, so AV have done very well to hold on to those spots. Yeah, Sane goes down there to a red shell, and Ballin has another one in reserve, so whoever is in third might be about to experience a hail of backspam, or he might just hold these until the shortcut. Looks like he got some kind of laggy slow-own. Up comes Sane again. Is he going to go down? Yes, he is. So this top 2 is being held onto very strongly by Avail. And, I mean, if they have the shock, Sal is further back, so perhaps he has the shock, but he's going backwards. But as we can see, Ken is coming up. The shock comes in. Doesn't look like anyone really dodged. Mark, by the looks of it, gets shock-redded. Never mind. Solo got... a nice little dodge there. This is top 3 at the moment for AV. Neo comes up on a Mega, I think takes out Mark there, but that looks like perhaps a 1-3-4. I think I might have just about seen Oliver down. That was quite a hectic race there at the end. Really could do with someone else to cast this with me. I'm joking. I mean, I honestly don't have a clue what just happened at the end of that race. I mean, we saw Neo coming up in a last-minute Mega, and I think I saw an Avail member just get squished in the gap there. That could be very unlucky on their part, but it still looked like a decent race from Avail. Oh, a 1-3-4, yeah, and Mark went down to that Mega, I believe, and ended up getting 8th place, so that's very unlucky on his part, but yeah, another very strong race. We could be about to see a nice little comeback here from Avail. I mean, even in these, 18 points now, the deficit in 2 races, that is very, very much doable. So yeah, that was a +9 race. So in these last 2 races, Avail have made up 30 points. And that is solid. Yeah, actually, I'm just reading through the chat, and I mean, you're right to point out the number of blue shells that came in there from UT. I believe that was 3. Yeah, some very rapid blue shells there, but Avail held on very strongly to those top spots. Excuse me. Obviously, the shock was very useful. We did see solo dodge in a start and going at first, but if Mark hadn't have been squished there, that could have been like a top 2-4-5 or a 1-3-4-5 or something like that for UT. But unfortunately, once again, Mark lets the side down. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so YF is coming in from Ballin. That was Ballin's Indiv pick a while ago. But I mean, with 1-3-4, that is certainly a solid track pick. This is one of those tracks where you hope that you can start and finish the race in the same sort of positions that you start, just because it's so small and so short that nothing can really happen. Okay, so we do see Neo and I believe that is Sane coming up quite quickly. I imagine UT are going to be quite nervous at the moment just because Avail have the momentum. Ballin pulls a nice little mega there. That's going to be quite useful if they can get the shock. But it looks like Sal just had to throw himself off, so I don't know if that's going to be possible. Who is this? This is Ken in 4th place with some greens and... excuse me. Ballin is getting sandwiched at the moment by Untouchables members, but he's holding on to his mega. He's choosing not to use it to try and squish them, and I believe Avail do have a couple of those top spots. We do see Mark in 6th place again. Sorry, I didn't mean to say again. Ronak is streaming up again, so 3-4-5 for Untouchables, and I believe a top 2 for Avail. That would make sense in terms of probabilities. I don't really know. Ballin chooses to chain his mega, pulls a bomb, and we could see some miraculous snipe coming in. The stream's lagging. Come on, Stunky's computer. Did he get him? I did not see what just happened. We just had some serious lag there on our end, so I didn't quite see what happened, but that could have been a nice little bomb snipe. I think I did just about see Ballin finish in 3rd, and I think he was in 5th before, so that could have been a nice little play. I mean, I'm going to be watching this at the same time that the stream chat's watching this on the Twitch stream here. Okay, so a 1-3-7-8, so that's a fairly mediocre race. I believe that's just winning for UT. I'm sure Stunky and the Toadbot will let us know. Okay, so a +1 for Avail. So, going into the last race, there is 17 points in it. I mean, that is a lot closer than it was at the start of this GP. They've come back in 3 races from a 48-point deficit to a 17-point deficit, and I believe something like a top 2-4 would clench that for them. Who knows? We could be about to see some nice little comeback. I guess Vail and my prayers were answered. We're going to see it come down to the wire. Just going to have a look again at the stream. I forgot to look over. Yeah, so it looks like 3 and 4 got sniped by that bomb. Yeah. Okay, so that was a good play from Ballin there. He really needed to get that in because otherwise that would have been a very solid race for UT. So he might have just saved his team's chances there. Anyway, KC is going to be the final track, and of course, Olafray, the world record holder of this track, is on Avail's side and is starting in 1st place. So Ballin immediately gets slammed off by something there, but it looked like Olafray was doing quite nicely in 1st place. Regardless, Ballin is sitting in last at the moment and is going to hope to get some kind of items. Maybe we'll see him pull a billet in 8th. We'll have to wait to see. But as of right now, we can't really be too sure of what positions are going on there. He's going to be chaining some stars, and what's he going to get here? Okay, so a golden. And I'm interested to see where he actually uses this, whether he uses it for the waterfall. He might choose to use it a bit early here and go and do the waterfall and then chain. Or he might save this for the golden strat at the start of the next lap. Yeah. Okay. So he's chosen to hold it, not take the waterfall shortcut, and instead hold this for the golden strat, which you're about to see here. Any new Oh, never mind. He's not going to take the Shroomba there. Maybe he's going to use it. Yeah, okay. So he's going to use it up here. Going to do, I guess, a little bit of a variation of the golden strat. But the POW comes in and that stops him. And he's going to end up pulling triple reds here in 7th. Now, if the opposition team were around him, yeah, okay. So he takes out Ken there in 8th place, but it doesn't look like these are going to be too useful to him. I'm not sure who that was in... okay, and Ken gets taken out once again. A bomb. Oh, that was a nice dodge. That was very well played. Nice reflexes there from Ballin. He's going to be hoping for some kind of power item here to take the cut. And he does pull a star. Perhaps if Sal has the shock, we do see Sal about a half a lap around. Maybe they're going to end up using the shock up here. Okay, so we do see some UT members using stars. And, oh, okay, so... that was presumably a UT shock. I'm quite surprised by what happened there, because you saw Ballin had a star, and Ken used his star, but Ballin was quite late in actually using his star. So yeah, that was a bit of a dodgy prediction, and it ended up being a first framer. And Ballin is holding a mega up in 2nd place. But if Ken doesn't get pushed out of 1st place, this is not going to be enough for them, I don't think. They're going to need some kind of miracle here. He's going for Amanda strat, and if he can get this red off at Ken... No, I don't think that's going to be enough. Untouchables steal 1st place thanks to that shock there. Ballin did do a nice little prediction, another mega, to secure 2nd place, but unfortunately that is certainly not going to be enough. Which is unfortunate. That's unfortunate to see. I was really hoping we'd have some kind of wild comeback. But yeah, just looking at this... I'm just going to rewatch this on the Twitch stream. I mean, there was a good few seconds between Ken using his star right behind Ballin. He certainly saw all the indicators and stuff, and Ballin ended up using his star after a while. So I'm not sure if that was just a really late prediction from Ballin, or if for some reason Avail chose to use the shock a bit early. I can't imagine Avail would have called the shock there, given that Ken was in a star, so I'm presuming that was Sammy's shock from Untouchables, and just a bit of a late prediction. He was quite lucky to actually dodge there. Was an AV shock? Okay. We're being told in the chat that it was actually an AV shock, so I mean that's quite questionable, given that Ken had been in a star for some time. So I mean, I'm not too sure what's going on there. I mean, surely he could have just waited until Ken was out of his star. I mean, Ballin certainly didn't chain or anything, and it doesn't, given that Ballin and Ken then were in top 2, it doesn't look like any other Avail members dodged. So, I mean, I'm questioning the strategy behind using that shock there, if it indeed was an Avail shock. Regardless, we can dwell on that for as long as we like, but the standing point is this. Untouchables have clinched the win by 18 points, so not quite denying the bonus point, but I'm not too sure what that's going to mean for the tables. I don't know if Stunky can hop in the call and let us know. Just looking at the thread for Division 2, I don't think the table's been updated. It still says there's been 8 weeks played, so unless there's some late games going on or anything like that, I'm not too sure what that means, but certainly given that Avail were in contention for playoffs, and I guess Untouchables might have been as well, that could have been quite an upset there. I do hope that Stunky's going to be able to hop in the call. I think he might still be playing CTWL, but I'll see if I can get on the old... on the old disc. Come on, at Stunky. Hop in call. Come on, Tom. Anyway, if Stunky's not going to... Yeah, okay, so Tom can't actually drop in the call, so I guess I'm just going to have to round this off. I do apologise, I don't actually know what that means for the division. Yeah, so unfortunately Stunky's still playing WL, so he won't be able to let us know. And I don't have the table to hand. Regardless, thank you very much to everyone who watched this stream. I think in the end we did peak at about 80 viewers, so that's certainly respectable. So thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, good luck to everyone who's playing WL tonight if you are, and take care. Good night.